Stephen Allen Spielberg KBE Omri is an American director, producer and screenwriter. Spielberg is considered as one of the founding pioneers of the New Hollywood era, as well as being viewed as one of the most popular directors and producers in film history. He is one of the co-founders of DreamWorks Studios. In a career spanning more than 4 decades, Spielberg's films have covered many themes and genres. Spielberg's early science fiction and adventure films were seen as archetypes of modern Hollywood blockbuster filmmaking. In later years, his films began addressing humanistic issues such as the Holocaust, the transatlantic slave trade, war, and terrorism. His other films include Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the Indiana Jones film series, and AI, Artificial Intelligence. Spielberg won the Academy Award for Best Director for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. 3 of Spielberg's films, Jaws, E.T., The Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park, achieved box office records, originated and came to epitomize the blockbuster film. The unadjusted gross of all Spielberg-directed films exceeds $9 billion worldwide, making him the highest-grossing director in history. His personal net worth is estimated to be more than $3 billion. He has been associated with composer John Williams since 1974, who composed music for all save 5 of Spielberg's feature films. Early life. Spielberg was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, to an Orthodox Jewish family. His mother, Leah Posner, was a restaurateur and concert pianist, and his father, Arnold Spielberg, was an electrical engineer involved in the development of computers. His paternal grandparents were immigrants from Ukraine who settled in Cincinnati in the first decade of the 1900s. In 1950, his family moved to Haddon Township, New Jersey when his father took a job with RCA. 3 years later, the family moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Spielberg attended Hebrew school from 1953 to 1957, in classes taught by Rabbi Albert L. Lewis. As a child, Spielberg faced difficulty reconciling being an Orthodox Jew with the perception of him by other children he played with. "It isn't something I enjoy admitting," he once said, "but when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, God forgive me, I was embarrassed because we were Orthodox Jews. I was embarrassed by the outward perception of my parents' Jewish practices. I was never really ashamed to be Jewish. But I was uneasy at times." Spielberg also said he suffered from acts of anti-Semitic prejudice and bullying. "In high school, I got smacked and kicked around. 2 bloody noses. It was horrible." His first home movie was of a train wreck involving his toy Lionel trains, then aged 12. Throughout his early teens, and after entering high school, Spielberg continued to make amateur 8mm adventure films. In 1958, he became a Boy Scout and fulfilled a requirement for the Photography Merit Badge by making a 9-minute 8mm film entitled The Last Gunfight. Years later, Spielberg recalled to a magazine interviewer, "My dad's still camera was broken. So I asked the Scoutmaster if I could tell a story with my father's movie camera. He said yes, and I got an idea to do a Western. I made it and got my merit badge." That was how it all started. At age 13, while living in Phoenix, Spielberg won a prize for a 40-minute war film he titled Escape to Nowhere, using a cast composed of other high school friends. That motivated him to make 15 more amateur 8mm films. In 1963, at age 16, Spielberg wrote and directed his first independent film, a 140-minute science fiction adventure called Firelight, which would later inspire Close Encounters. The film was made for $500, most of which came from his father, and was shown in a local cinema for one evening, which earned back its cost. After attending Arcadia High School in Phoenix for 3 years, his family next moved to Saratoga, California, where he later graduated from Saratoga High School in 1965. He attained the rank of Eagle Scout. His parents divorced while he was still in school, and soon after he graduated, Spielberg moved to Los Angeles, staying initially with his father. His long-term goal was to become a film director. His three sisters and mother remained in Saratoga. In Los Angeles, he applied to the University of Southern California's film school, but was turned down because of his C grade average. He then applied and was admitted to California State University, Long Beach, where he majored in English, and became a Brother of Theta Chi fraternity. While still a student, he was offered a small unpaid intern job at Universal Studios with the editing department. He was later given the opportunity to make a short film for theatrical release, the 26-minute, 35mm, Amblin, which he wrote and directed. Studio Vice President Sidney Sheinberg was impressed by the film, which had won a number of awards, and offered Spielberg a 7-year directing contract. It made him the youngest director ever to be signed for a long-term deal with a major Hollywood studio. He subsequently dropped out of college to begin professionally directing TV productions with Universal.